money. You're not going to do what he says. But when they start making up their own words, and all professions use it, either you're a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer, they all use the same little trick where they expand the language so that it's something that you don't think you can understand. Studying the law for a while now, and I have looked and studied what is going on and what our remedy is, and I think I know where the problem starts. If you want to figure out what your remedy is, first we have to figure out how did this problem start. It started when we were kids. Your parents teach you lies right from the get-go. Are there any parents here? I have this theory, parents are the stupidest people on the planet. Any parents here again? It's not that you're stupid because you're a parent. It's becoming a parent makes you stupid. Parents always ask stupid things. Like, do you want a spanking? Well, I was going to go play Tonka with Jimmy, but yeah, we can squeeze in a quick one. Parents say things like, I'll give you something to cry about, like the spanking wasn't good enough. I remember the first time my dad asked me, do you want a spanking? And you know what? I remember my first spanking. I didn't like it, not even a little bit. And that's really surprising when you look at my present day habits. She said, do you want to, first spanking, I said, this is never going to happen again. And I got a pretty good brain even as a little kid, so I thought about it. Next time my dad asked me, do you want a spanking? I looked him right in the eye, dropped my pants, started playing with my penis, said, yes, please, Big Daddy. Oh, the spanking's tapered right off from there, I can tell you. The reason is they teach us lies. When we're growing up, what's the big lie they teach you all right off the bat? Santa Claus, that's it, thank you very much. Santa Claus, the big lie. Folks, Santa Claus is a 5,000-year-old pagan tradition. Early Christianity adopted it out of convenience, and I'm going to prove it by linking two seemingly unrelated facts. First of all, what are the three colors of Christmas? Red, white, and green. Now remember that. It's going to be important. What are the names of his last two reindeer? Not so easy now, is it?
No, that's the last one.
Donner and Blitzen, that's right. Red, white, and green, Donner and Blitzen. Germanic words, Donner and Blitzen, for what? Thunder and lightning. When do you get thunder and lightning? The rainy season. What happens during the rainy season? Things grow. What kind of things? Things that need a lot of moisture and very little sunlight, like, mushrooms. What color are the most powerful psychoactive mushrooms known to man? Red and white. Where do they grow? On green moss-covered deadfall. That's right, folks. Santa Claus is nothing more than a 5,000-year-old mushroom-induced hallucination. And if you don't believe me, you go out when it's donnering and blitzening, find and ingest enough of these little red and white mushrooms, you just might see a big, fat, jolly elf flying across the sky in a sleigh being pulled by a bunch of, let's say, wingless reindeer. And it might just be the most natural and logical thing you see all night. You might be like, I ate way too. No, I'm okay. Now, I'm not saying we shouldn't tell our kids about Santa Claus. It's a wonderful story. But when they're about 5 or 6 years of age, and they come up to you and say, Daddy, is there really a Santa Claus? Don't break their little hearts. Look them right in the eye and say, yes, son, there is. When he says, when can I see him, Daddy? You can say, about 5 minutes after eating this. I know it tastes like bark, son, but if you want to see Santa, you have to eat the soup. And we should stop there, right? We're dosing up our kids with hallucinogens. We should stop there, but do we? No. In order to get your brain created and conditioned so that you can buy the bullshit when you're older, they then teach you tongue twisters. Tongue twisters that are going to twist up your brain, not your tongue. Tongue twisters like, so if Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, how many pickled peppers did Peter Piper pick? Don't answer, it's a trick question. Think about it. They're pickled peppers. They've already been picked. What is Peter doing? Repicking, pre-picked, prepackaged pickled peppers. Plus, Peter is supposed to be a piper. How can you be a piper and a pepper picker? You can't. Plus, Peter, he only picked a peck. Who here knows what a peck is? Farmers? No farmers here? A peck. A peck is a quarter of a bushel. A quarter of 4 pecks, 1 bushel. 35 quarts in a bushel, 0.98 liters per quart. That means there's 8.809 liters per peck. Well, you can't do that in your heads? 8.809 liters of peppers, folks. We're talking great big round hollow fruit. They're not blueberries. A peck of pepper, a peck of blueberries, I could see someone working. A peck of peppers, that's a lazy prick picking. You know what I think? What if the whole thing should be changed? What if they're lying to us there? What if it should be something like, so if Pickled Peter, the part-time piper, picked a peck of potent peppers, how many potent peppers did Pickled Peter, the part-time piper, pick? See, now it makes sense. And then they hit you with woodchuck. How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck... Oh, don't even get me started there. Folks, chucking wood involves bending over at the waist, grasping small pieces of wood, tossing them to one side with a short swinging side-to-side motion of the arms. Thus, according to Mrs. Webster's son, who never had a date, is to chuck wood. First of all, folks, a woodchuck, they don't have the opposing thumb necessary to properly grasp anything. Secondly, a woodchuck shoulder blades, they are not articulated for side-to-side motion. It's front to back for the woodchuck. Digging a hole, I can buy that. Running from a fox, I'm there for you too. Chucking wood, you can knock right off. Yeah, and it's all about them using twisty words and great big lies, and that conditions you for the law society, and it conditions you for the court system that you're then going to have to face. I remember once, a little digression here, in high school. And that's why we're all here, eh? We want to figure out how to deal with the government. They want our energy, they want our money, they want more than we want to give, and we know we're not getting value for it. Where's the remedy? In high school, I had a pretty big mouth. Learned to run pretty good. There was this one bully, I don't want to mention his name because I haven't seen him for years, and Tim Perry probably forgets me anyways. But I remember I get off the bus once, and he's there with all of his friends. And he's like, oh, we're going to fight 315 in the playground behind the school. I'm going to kick your ass in. And the next period, I've got a great big knot in my belly. Eh? I was scared the whole time. I come out of class, and there he is with all his friends. Remember 315, and I was so mad, I just punched him right in the belly. Solar plexed him. He fell. It was a surprise. I went, run. I ran. The next period, I'm thinking, wow, this feels pretty good. That knot isn't in my belly anymore. I bet you it's in his. So I realize lunchtime comes, he's going to be looking for me. So I go to the library. I hide in the audio-visual room because we all know that audio-visual equipment is to a bully what kryptonite is to Superman. Bullies don't like audio-visual equipment for some reason. So I'm there, I'm hiding, I have my sandwich. I leave, and I'm trying to avoid the guy. I turn the corner, and there he is with his friends. And we were surprised, eh? There was a shock. So I went, boom! I kicked him right in the nuts. I ran. By this time, next period, I'm going, I think I found a strategy. I wait, and I get out of the last period, was French, or the second last period. I was in French class. So I told the teacher I had to go to the washroom. I get out early. I knew he was at shop class. I'm waiting for him outside the door. As soon as he came out, punched him right in the face, and I ran. 3 times he's been hit now. At 3:15, was he in the schoolyard ready to fight me? I have no idea. I was on the bus. I'm not fighting my opponent when and where he wants me. I'm not crazy. So the next morning, I realized I probably bit off a little bit more than I can chew. He's going to be gunning for me. So I had one of these little mini bats. They're little tiny bats that I got from Detroit Tiger Stadium. They used to give them away as gifts before they realized it wasn't a good idea to give billy clubs to angry fans in Detroit. So they stopped giving those, but I had one of those. I had it in my sleeve. I get off the bus. I'm thinking, there's Tim Perry's going to be there. He's going to be mad. He's nowhere to be found. I go around.